Hi, how y'all doing? I started out as a stand-up comic, so I have to say, where are you from? Just an old habit. All right, this is obviously a huge honor. I didn't know what I was going to talk about today either, and then I asked some of the other guys at The Simpsons. I said, "What do you think I should?" And they said, "Who are you following?" And I said, "Mike Primo," and they said, "You're screwed." And I was going to sing the Star Spangled Banner, and Kelly Danner ripped that off. So I had to come up with something. I thought while I was up here I could do a little product placement for Aquafina, the choice of more college graduates. And now I go home and see if a check comes. Anyhow, while I am very flattered, and thank you for the introduction, I am very flattered to be your commencement speaker today. I must confess, as I stand before you, the biggest fraud to ever receive an honorary degree. Normally, these are reserved for people who have already earned a real college degree, and the honorary one is kind of a symbolic bonus. But that's not the case for me. This is, in fact, my first college degree. So I'm very proud. Thank you. And my kids are really pissed. They can't believe I did not have to attend one class to do this. So in a way, it makes this all very worthwhile for me. So I'm actually going to make them call me Dr. Dad from now on. And I think I also have the power to write out prescriptions. So if anybody out there is interested. All right, let's face it. I've got to face facts here. There are some incredibly accomplished people on this podium today that are also receiving honorary degrees that are far more deserving than me. There is a Pulitzer Prize-winning author, a highly respected judge. You are highly respected, aren't you? I'm just checking. Which way? Oh, there you are. Okay, sorry. A man in charge of running an entire city, a woman responsible for breakthroughs in cancer patient care, an internationally acclaimed artist, an advocate for the mentally, physically challenged, and me, cartoon boy. It just ain't right. But nonetheless, I stand here as the proud recipient of a Doctor of Fine Arts degree. And to show you how much I don't deserve this honor, when I found out what the degree that I was getting, I immediately told my kids I was getting a Doctor of Fine Farts degree. Is this really the kind of person you want to honor? Really? All right, too late now. 3,000-mile flight, you're stuck. So, actually, I was kind of hoping that this degree, are those the degrees right there? This moment would kind of work like the Scarecrow in The Wizard of Oz, that the minute I'm holding it, I instantly become a genius. In fact, I want to try it right now. The sum of the square root of any two sides of an isosceles triangle. Oh shit, who am I kidding? I can't get that. Keep your props nearby. All right. You may be wondering why a moron like myself was chosen to give this speech. The blame has to go to your student advisor, Lori Simpson. A good friend of mine from West Springfield High School, class of 1974. Lori actually called me to speak at last year's ceremony, but it was only like 2 weeks away. So I figured someone must have canceled at the last second and they were frantically searching for a last-minute replacement. So I figured it was probably down to a list of like me, Woodsy Owl, O.J. Simpson, and that old guy on the Six Flags commercials who dances around. Anyway, I asked if I could come this year instead because I knew my daughter Allison would be graduating. You are graduating, aren't you, Allison? All right. I never did see the final transcript, so. Anyhow, so I don't want you to get the wrong impression of me, though. I actually did go to college. Okay, I attended college, as they like to say. Okay, community college for one day. All right, half a day. And I skipped my first 2 classes. But I have lots of fond memories of my 90 minutes at Holyoke Community College. And I always regretted leaving when I was just 3 years and 364 and a half days away from getting a degree. But I actually had a great reason to leave college. The school policy was if you quit within the first 3 days, you get your money back. And I was paying for it for myself, and I really needed the cash because Springsteen was on tour, and I needed tickets. So if I had to make that decision again today, I would certainly make it differently. I would go through a ticket broker so I could score better seats. Seriously, the reason I quit school was quite simple. I didn't know what to do with my life yet, and I couldn't help feeling that I was going to college just because everyone else was, and that didn't seem like a good enough reason to me. For better or worse, I took a different path, one that led to working at a fast food restaurant, a janitor in a hospital, a driving instructor for Winchester Auto School, and a desk clerk at a sleazy motel on Route 5 that proudly advertised its hourly rates. That's all true. That's all true. They were all low-paying jobs, but they taught me one very important thing. Low-paying jobs suck. Remember that. Okay. However, they instilled in me a work ethic that's been with me since my 16th birthday, when my father lovingly said to me, "Happy birthday, now get a job, you long-haired freak." And I want to jump ahead now to 9 years later, when I'm celebrating my 25th birthday, riding around in a car with my friends, drinking and listening to Leonard Skinner. And I should clarify that at the time the drinking age was 18, so I was just following government orders. Would not be doing that now. Anyhow, that night out with my friends, I had an epiphany. Now, of course, at 25, I was too stupid to know what the word epiphany meant. So let's just say I had an important thought. I realized I wanted to do something more with my life, but I didn't know what. I made a mental list of all the things I was passionate about, the things that I would do even if nobody paid me to do them. Number 1 was riding around in a car with my friends drinking and listening to Leonard Skinner. So I crossed that off the list. Comedy had always been a passion of mine. I grew up with my eyes glued to the TV because my father had strange ways of punishing us. All right. That was 2 a.m. last night. That's not bad. That's all right. I was they kept asking me to email my speech like 3 days ago, and they didn't believe me that it wasn't finished yet. And I was really heavily influenced at that age by people like Woody Allen, the Marx Brothers, Johnny Carson, George Carlin, the Smothers Brothers, the Dick Van Dyke Show, and many, many others, including my family. My brother Brian, who writes for Family Guy, and my brother Neil, who's a hockey writer in Western Mass. And my family was great and very supportive of this insane career choice. They always laughed when I opened my mouth full of chewed food at the dinner table. And it's a joke I'm not above using to this day. I was also influenced by some excellent teachers in the West Springfield public school system. And my first grade teacher was named Miss Drucker, and she would encourage me to write plays and poetry. And I'm not sure if she really believed I was talented or just liked watching the bullies kick my ass at recess.